In this video, we're going to be looking at what might be the first must-do upgrade to the Kyosho Fazer D2 drift car. This is FAW303. It's a steering pin. We noticed out of the box that the front steering has a lot of play in it, a lot of wobble. So we're going to be blowing apart the front end of the car, getting this installed just to see, does it help fix all that slop. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Troy. This is RoadsideRC. You'll tend to find me bashing or crawling or drifting or racing, plus doing product review videos and how-tos. Yeah, this is what we're talking about here. You can hold the steering mechanism, and look at this. It just, that's really bad. From the top here, we know we're going to end up needing to remove the servo linkage. Flipping it over to the bottom, we're going to start taking these screws that hold these two parts together all the way around the outside here. And to get all those screws loose, it does start to come apart. And that's basically what we need to get into there. Now, I'm guessing you can basically put this new parts in right here. And you don't have to take much more apart if you don't really want to. But the problem is if I do that, you're not going to be able to see it. So we're going to have to take a few more parts loose in order for you to see what the heck we're doing here. We're going to start with the lower shock mounts. And if I can sneak in there without getting the tires off. And then the steering turnbuckles. This whole thing comes loose. With this laid out here, I'm trying to figure out if I can see where that play comes from. I can try to hold this still, like as if the servo was mounted to it. And then look at all this. It's in this whole front steering assembly. I see a lot of slop right here. I'm also seeing slop here as well. Seeing it in both of these locations. Let's go ahead and get this screw off right here in order to get this all loose. Since this screw wouldn't cooperate, that screw would just spin. It wouldn't come loose. It goes down into a little hex down here. It just would not cooperate at all. I just took the two screws more out of the chassis in order to free this whole part up. And what we're looking at now is these two screws here. And out comes this little bushing. This is the part that we are replacing. Laying these side by side, I'm going to be honest, I don't actually understand what Kyosho was doing here. So, factory part, plastic with multiple step down. Now we're going to this aluminum part that is smooth with two bearings. So honestly, laying these side by side now, I don't understand what Kyosho was doing. The factory plastic part steps down multiple times as it goes in. This new part with the bearings in it's going to just be one diameter top and bottom. It's like they almost built the plastic part in with slop from the factory. I don't get it. I don't understand why they would have designed it this way from the factory and then given us this upgrade part. So one of the bearings on, we're going to place it in the top side. Other bearing then goes on the bottom. Fits in there nice and snug, which it really should. That's kind of how you would design this originally, I would think. Make sure you don't lose your little plastic bushings in on this side. This is my one regret so far. If I had really thought more about it, I would have got more of these bearings to put in on this side, and maybe that would help take up some of the slop that we're seeing through the rest of the steering system. This part comes back over, and we're going to be able to put that factory screw back in it, making sure that you put a little bit of thread locker on it, because otherwise this part may come right back loose. And we're just going to do the same thing to the other side. Both parts are now installed. Make sure this moves freely. And then yeah, that really did get rid of a lot of that slop. Let's bolt this back in here so we can really compare it. Oh man, that is so much better. That is so much tighter. Oh, that is okay. Yes, 100% yes. That is exactly what we were wanting right there. Hopefully you're watching this before you've purchased the parts. Go ahead and buy you 4 more of those bearings, top and bottom over here, and you'll be in even better shape. Me, I have to live and learn and come back and do that a different day. Now time to get this all back reassembled. I'm going to skip over that So unless I see anything that I believe you need to know about. If you want more of the bearings, BRG 013 4x7 by 2.5. You can buy it in 2 pieces at a time using that part number. I'll try to see if I can find them and leave a link to you for you down in the video description. As I'm reassembling this, I'm noting this also, this kind of interesting. So up here, this rod, top of that steering post, goes into this hole. This hole's oval. This is a circle. This is an oval. That's clearly not holding our steering tight. I wonder what the heck they were thinking there. Is there any way that I can shove something in there to help fill the space, fill that void? Boo hiss. The reassembly was very smooth, no concerns at all. But now here's a moment of truth. We're gonna hold the steering system. Doesn't really solve it all, does it? Is it even any better? We'd have to literally look at the footage before and after. Like, it's gotta be better. But somehow, we still have a large amount of wiggle. Jumping forward on you here a little bit, I've been messing with it. As near as I can tell, you can actually look in there. I doubt you're gonna be able to see it on camera. But right in there, there's so much flop just out here on the hub itself. Flop in these turnbuckles, they just really need replaced. There's a lot of slop just in them, period. Also in here, you get up and down movement of that whole bell crank system. That whole wipery bell crank system, you get up and down movement of that whole thing. And I can't help but believe that that's also related to that top part up here, where it's an oval instead of a circle for some unknown reason. So is this modification that Kyosho sells us, is it in the right direction? Yes. But is it really what you need to do to get rid of all the steering slop? It is not. There's still a lot in this system. In order to make this a little better, we're going to do an old school RC trick. We're going to take some plastic cling wrap. You probably have sitting in your kitchen, kind of a staple there. Pop off the end, don't unscrew it like we did before, just pop it off. You're gonna cut yourself a relatively small piece of it, just to make your life easier. You're gonna put it over that ball and then pop that end back on. Okay, and what that does is it just takes up the smallest amount of slack. You know, I mean, think about how thin that stuff is. It's so thin, right? And now, some of that slop in that exact ball end is gone. Now, we still have slop in all of these other ball ends. So we are not done by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously, I'm going to want to come in and trim some of this excess off. And it takes up that little bit of slack. Now, if you get too much on it, it'll start to bind and things like that. So you want to watch out. But this is a basically free, practically free change. Now what we're going to really want to do long term is replace these turnbuckle ends and everything with some that fit properly. But we don't have those right now. Kyosho hasn't made them, and I haven't done the deep diving yet to figure out what other turnbuckle ends, you know, should I need to buy from a Yokomo or an MST or what have you in order to make it work. And I'm going to blow all this apart. I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take this all back apart, do it to a lot of these other ends, and see how much difference it makes. Good and bad news. Good and bad news. Plastic is everywhere, and that has dramatically tightened up all of these ball ends. Good. Free. Good. That does work. But if I hold this still, you notice now at least both wheels are moving together, whereas if you go back to the very beginning of this video, the wheels were wiggling independently of each other. Now they're wiggling together. That means we've got a cross here. We've tightened it all up. All those ball ends are much tighter. But you notice I'm firmly holding the servo linkage. We have less. We have a lot less play than we did before. This is dramatically better, but we still have way too much. Way too much. So I think right now we are in a holding pattern until Kyosho fixes something about this upper swing arm mount there, this upper bell crank mount, because that oval, you're putting a circle into an oval and it just gives it room to move, and I don't know why they're doing it. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to try to measure it out and 3D print a little insert to see if I could make it go from an oval down to a circle and just fill it in that way. But yeah, this is It's pretty disappointing that you can come back here and hold it and still get that much play. Kyosho, boo on you. So we've made it better. It's still not perfect. More to come. More needs to be done on this. Unfortunately, I do need to quit for today. And so we've made improvements. We've gotten it better. We've probably got half or more of that slop out. It's not quite good. If you're watching this, go ahead and get those additional bearings as you're buying that FAW 303 set, because then you can do the other piece. I think that alone also will help tighten up that whole steering system. That's going to be what I purchase next from just an off-the-shelf Kyosho part and I put in there. Also, just be on the lookout for additional Kyosho parts. Maybe they'll actually release some higher quality turnbuckles for us. We can swap those on, get rid of all of that play in the ends without having to use the cling wrap trick. Although it worked pretty well temporarily. If you have any questions about what I've done today on this car, please leave them down in the video comments and I'll be happy to help you in any way that I can. If you're going to look for these parts and those bearings, I'm going to try to leave a link to them in the video description. If you want to see anything more that I do with this Kyosho Fazer D2, there's going to be a playlist popping up over here to your right. I hope to see you in one of those videos. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.